Okay, I'm here with Jared Jeffrey here. He's a primary school teacher at Ningen Catholic School. So first of all, Jared, how do you use data to inform decisions for planning and teaching a teaching cycle?
I guess data is what underpins what you teach in the classroom. You obviously have to continually collect data from students to help with the next steps of planning what you're teaching in the classroom. And I guess data is something that we collect each term. You need to continually collect it. It can be formal, both formal and informal, and there's lots of different ways that can be done.
Okay, so how has your teaching philosophy changed over the years, and what do you think of the 21st education system?
My teaching philosophy has had a big change since I began teaching 7 years ago. I guess as you learn and grow as a teacher, you develop that philosophy around your own teaching style. I think that the 21st century education system has had some pretty significant changes as well. I know that technology is something that is incorporated into lots of aspects of the teaching system now, and we're very fortunate at our school that the students can all have their own one-to-one device, which makes it quite handy and accessible to push work out and receive work from the kids, give feedback, all of those teaching strategies that you use each day. I also think that my philosophy probably takes a couple of years to shape your own philosophy. I know at uni you learn all the theoretical side of teaching, but as a teacher you learn the practical side, and each year I think your philosophy changes, and mine is still something that is changing now, even after 7 years.
Great. How do you provide differentiated teaching and learning opportunities in the teaching cycle?
I guess that's done through your classroom activities. Some examples that I can think of at the moment are with students who are learning at a lower ability level. Obviously, you would have an adjusted expectation of their workload. You would probably have very modified and simple instructions for those students who need that extra time to understand and process information. I guess also just being flexible in the way that you, in the delivery of the teaching. I know in my class, for example, I've got quite a range of students from quite low to quite high. So I guess it's just being mindful of those students, both at the top and the bottom end of the scale, and ensuring that their needs are met in the classroom.
Okay, next question. How do you provide effective feedback to your students?
Feedback, it's pretty much given immediately. I like to make sure that when I am giving feedback to the students on their learning, that it's done quite quickly, both written and verbal. Obviously marking books is the written form of feedback that I provide, but that verbal immediate feedback I think works really well, especially when the classroom is busy. You don't have time to offer the written feedback, so that immediate verbal feedback always I think works well in the classroom.
Okay. How do you measure your impact in a cycle of teaching, and how does this help with the next cycle of teaching?
I guess this is an important one for yourself as a teacher, to reflect on your own teaching and learning, reflecting on lessons that you taught, thinking about things that worked well, things that didn't work well, changes that you can make as a teacher for the next cycle of teaching. I also think that it's important for teachers to continually evaluate programs, activities, lessons, all of those everyday classroom teaching and learning opportunities for the students.
Thank you. Okay, what are the most effective data sources that you use to plan a cycle of teaching?
I guess collecting kids' work samples is a good way to gauge what they know and assess, I guess, how they are performing, and then using those work samples to drive any future learning opportunities. Another way of is referring to the learning intention and success criteria. I guess at the end of the lesson or the end of the unit or the cycle of teaching, coming back to the learning intention and success criteria and really going through it with the kids to see, do they think that they've achieved it? If no, then what can they do? What are the next steps that they can do to try and achieve what the learning intention is?
What is the role of annotating a lesson plan in your teaching?
I guess annotating lesson plans or programs is pretty critical to keep tabs of where you're up to. It's all, it's quite easy to program a unit of work but not get through the whole lot. So I guess some things obviously take longer than expected or than you planned it to take, longer than you thought it would take. So then it's a good way once you've annotated your programs to keep tabs of what you've done, what still needs to be done. Annotations are really important also when you've got casual teachers coming into the classroom so they can jump on and see where you left off the previous day. Personally, I like to annotate my programs quite comprehensive, so I really like to know exactly how the lesson went, and I guess it's good for me as well to reflect on the lesson. Obviously, some lessons don't go to plan, and that's all fine. But if it's just documented in your annotations, that's a good way to sort of keep tabs on that.
Can you tell me a bit more about how you use diagnostic and formative assessment in your classroom?
Yeah, so obviously there are some diagnostic tests that we do with the kids as a whole school. For example, we do PAT testing, which is through the ASA website on a whole school level. It's a really good way to, I guess, keep track of the kids' progress from kindergarten through year 6. Each class has their own assessments that they do each year. We do spelling tests, we do diagnostic spelling tests with the kids each year to track progress from previous years. And I guess the diagnostic testing that we do is then used, as I said previously, to drive future learning, but also to hone in on those kids who are struggling or I guess slipping through the gaps, and I guess it gives you a good diagnosis of ways that you can then try and support those kids and pick them up to speed.
Okay, next question. How do you report to parents and carers on the learning progress of the students?
I guess that's through parent-teacher interviews, which I conducted twice a year, once per semester, through reports which are sent home once a semester as well, and obviously via our parent communication channel, emails, phone calls. I guess if there is the need to contact a parent or a carer quite quickly, then a phone call is the best option to discuss that with them. Otherwise, usually I just send an email.
Okay, and last question. What professional development would you recommend for first year teachers?
Probably the only PL that I would suggest for first year teachers to do or look for is around classroom management or behaviour management. Personally, I wouldn't advise to overload with PL in your first year of teaching. That's kind of your crucial year to learn the ropes, settle into the life of a teacher, establish those solid classroom foundations, routines, all of those things. So I guess my personal opinion would be to just enjoy the job for the first year.
Perfect, thank you. And thank you for letting me conduct this interview with you.
No worries at all.